It's been estimated that 62% of the English language is made up of short vowel words. It's very exciting to know that our students are able to read most of those words independently at this step in the program. It's now time for us to go to the letter cluster phonics song. On this song, I tell the children that we are to look at the letters that form this cluster. Now, boys and girls, I taught you that letter O goes ah as in oxen. And I taught you that letter R goes r as in rail. But when O-R comes together, don't go ah, r. It won't work. When O-R comes together, we say or. Say orphan, like little orphan Annie. Say order, the waitress took our order. Now say orbit. The little rocket was moving in orbit. We could say organ. We heard the organ playing in the church. That's it for that day. Have them get folded art paper and have them put O-R at the top and have them draw a picture of an organ, have them draw Orphan Annie, have them draw orbit, so forth, so that they can remember that. They're not to write the whole word. Don't expect them to read the whole word. Just zero in on it. O-R says or. The next day, we go to the next cluster, letter cluster. Boys and girls, I taught you letter S goes S, and I taught you letter H goes H. But when SH comes together, don't go S, because it won't work. When SH comes together, go sh, as in shell. Get the folded art paper again and have them think of some more words and pictures that they can draw for that sound. The next day, CH, you teach it ch for chocolate and for child. The next day, tell them that there are 3 groups of letters that go the rooster's wild. The next day, we teach them that TH means put your tongue up to your teeth. I tell them that, remember, every time you see the letters TH, put your tongue to your teeth. Now, when you put them up there this time, just blow. Say 3, thought, through, think. All right, that's one sound for TH. Now put your tongue up to your teeth again. This time, go. Feel right here on your throat and go. That's the voiced sound of TH. Say this, that, these, those, them, and have them notice the vibration that they get for that. All right, there are 2 sounds. We say for them and for through. The next day, ow for owl and ow out, too. The moon is out. Teach them that there are 2 groups of letters that go ow, O-W and O-U. Next day, teach them that E-W goes ooh, as in new. See her new dress with the price tag on it? The next day, A-R goes R, as in car. The next day, there are 2 groups of letters that go aw, A-W and A-U. We see a baby, we say aw. The next day, teach them that I-N-G goes ing, A-N-G goes ang, O-N-G goes ong. Have them look at the first letter, I for Indian, ing, A for apple, ang, ong. Then we turn on our music and we can sing through this song. Let's go to the classroom and hear this verse. It's time to teach them the next verse to this letter cluster song. We teach them that O-Y says oi, Let's look at the word. Oi for toy and boy and Roy. Singing sounds we do enjoy. There's another group of letters that go oi. O-I also says oi. Oi for oil and foil and boil. When we dig in soil. These two letters, two O's go for book and look and hook. The one who steals we call a crook. O-O also says ooh. Ooh for spoon and moon and noon. Now we see a red balloon. Now this is really an incredible one. T-I-O-N goes shun. Isn't that strange? Shun for invention and for nation. We will have a long vacation. If we sing this well indeed, then it's time for us to read. Let's go to the classroom and hear the children sing this song.
Oi for toy and boy and Roy, singing sounds we do enjoy. Oi for oil and foil and boil, when we dig in soil. Hook for book and look and hook, one who steals we call a crook. Ooh for spoon and moon and noon, now we see a red balloon. Shun for invention and for nation, we will have a long vacation. If we sing this well indeed, then it's time for us to read.
There are two reinforcement games that we have to help children memorize those letter clusters, the letter cluster letters and the sounds. One is soundo, letter cluster soundo. We call out the sounds. Cover the letters that go R for car. Cover the letters that go ch for chocolate. Cover the letters that go sh as in shell. The children will have these charts hanging on the wall in the classroom so that they can check. And when they no longer have to check the chart, then you know that they know those sounds. There's another game that we can play, a small group game, the pick-a-sound game. We play it at reading table. We have the pick-a-sound merry-go-round circle, deck of blue deck of cards. We deal them 5 to each child, and they try to make pairs, just as they did before. And they call out, Mary, do you have the card that goes or for orbit? And if she has it, she gives it to her. She makes a pair. If she doesn't have it, she says, pick a sound from the merry-go-round, at which time the child draws from the center. The child who has the most pairs at the end, when someone runs out of cards, is the winner. So they practice with a large group game and a small group game. And then when everybody is ready to sing the song, they can color the pictures in their raceway book, and the teacher will hear them sing the song and sign that. If there is something that our remedial students seem to have trouble with, it's this. It's been the missing link for many, many students that I have taught. I've noticed in the flow chart of several basal systems that they don't teach T-I-O-N until the 6th grade, which means that the child has no way of sounding out the word nation or simple words as election until he reaches 6th grade. This way, we've covered the code right at the first semester of 1st grade. After they can sing this song, we move them from step 16 to step 17 on the raceway. We're ready now for step 17, shoot the balloons. We have this pretty balloon chart, and on it we have all the sounds that they've been singing and practicing with their song and their games. There are 2 more sounds we need to teach before they shoot these balloons. We teach that O-W goes O as in snow. They sang that it goes ow for owl. They also need to know that it goes O for snow. They need to know that WH sounds as though it should be HW. It goes wh. as in when, why, where, which. Most of the question words, you see. And they need to, well, they know that they know the two sounds for TH from singing it. They already know the two sounds for the double O's, and oo. We ask the children, do you know some of the sounds that are on these balloons? Who can come identify some of these sounds? And we say that if they say the sound, they are popping the balloon, and we clap our hands. If there's anybody in the room who can shoot all of these balloons, pop them all by saying every single sound, they pass this step. They'll pass step 17 and go to step 18 on the chart. Let's go to the classroom and see how we do this. Not R for that one. Not L for that one. Aw. We see that we say aw.
Aw. Oi. Ear.
Not just And another sound for that one? O as in snow. Ow and O. Oi. Not R. Look at it again. Is right. And what about two sounds for this? Ooh and look at your song. Oof for look and hook. Very nice. A teacher in Brownsville, Texas wrote to me that she had her children shoot the balloons every Wednesday, and that every child that could shoot every single balloon won a balloon to take home. And she said it was highly motivational, and I think it's a very good idea. It certainly keeps the children aware of those sounds that will help them so much in reading many, many words. After they practice on the classroom chart, they go to their raceway book. They can color every balloon that they know the sound for. They say the sounds for the teacher. When they can say every one of them, the teacher signs the little box at the bottom of the page. And then they're ready to go to the next step, which is the duck pond. The teacher tears out this page very carefully, and the children color the ducks, cut them, and fold them so that they stand. Then you have the children bring their raceway books and the ducks with them to their reading group, and they put all the ducks on the pond on the back cover. And we take turns going around the reading table, holding up a duck, saying its sound, or for orbit. And then the next child has his turn, holding up a duck, saying its sound. And when it keeps going around the table till everybody gets all their ducks out of the pond. Gives us another way to practice it. These are so important. That's why we've done it so many different ways. Let's review it. We sang the song. We played a large group game, which was Soundo. We played a small group game, pick a sound from the merry-go-round. We played Shoot the Balloons, and we did the duck pond. But we were zeroing in on the same skill every time so that they will have an automatic response to seeing those letter clusters. We're now ready for step 18. At step 18, we're ready for two things: to learn the long vowel marching song and all the ABC echoes. I tell the children that we've learned the short vowel song to learn the sounds for short vowels, but that there are long vowel sounds for each of the vowels also. I tell them that the long vowels are easy to learn because they just need to say the name of the letter. Say the name of the letter A. What is it? A. Hear it in apron. A for apron is the long vowel sound for that letter. Let's go to letter E. We say the name of the letter. What is it? E. E for eagle. Do you hear it say E at the beginning? Eagle. Then we go to the next one, letter I. I says its name. Its name is I. Listen to it. I for ice cream. O says its name. O for oatmeal. Do you hear it say O at the beginning of oatmeal? And U says its name, U for United States. Those are the long vowel sounds for each of the vowels. We also learned 2 other letter sounds at this step. But first, let's go to the classroom and see how it is that we really learn those long vowel sounds.
A for apron, A for apron. E for eagle, E for eagle. I for ice cream, I for ice cream. O for oatmeal, O for oatmeal. U for United States, U for United States. So we do echo, so we do echo. As we march along and we sing a song, learning our long vowels. A for apron, A for apron. E for eagle, E for eagle. I for ice cream, I for ice cream. O for oatmeal, O for oatmeal. U for United States, U for United States. So we do echo, so we do echo. As we march along and we sing a song, learning our long vowels. A for apron, A for apron. E for eagle, E for eagle. I for ice cream, I for ice cream. O for oatmeal, O for oatmeal. U for United States, U for United States. So we do echo, so we do echo. As we march along and we sing a song, learning our long vowels. A for apron, A for apron. E for eagle, E for eagle. I for ice cream, I for ice cream. O for oatmeal, O for oatmeal. U for United States, U for United States. So we do echo, so we do echo. As we march along and we sing a song, learning our long vowels. A for apron, A for apron. E for eagle, E for eagle. I for ice cream, I for ice cream. O for oatmeal, O for oatmeal. U for United States, U for United States. So we do echo, so we do echo. As we march along and we sing a song, learning our long vowels.
After the children sing that long vowel song every day, we come to the point where we're ready to learn the other sounds, 3 more sounds, and that's it. All you need to read English. I point to this chart and I say, letter A sometimes says ah, as in the word father. Do you hear it? It goes ah, and it's shown by putting 2 dots over a letter A. Letter C sometimes says s, as in circus. And sometimes letter G goes j, as in giant. Now we're ready to go to the alphabet strip and say every sound that we've learned for each of these letters. You'll see that we have a 3 written here because we know 3 sounds for letter A. There's a 2 here because the children know 2 sounds for letter C. 2 for letter E, 2 for letter G, 2 for letter I, 2 for O, and 2 for letter U. Let's go to the classroom now and see how it is that we do these echoes. I'll be the leader first, and you echo after me. Here we go. A.
A.
Ah.
A.
Ah.
Ah.
B.
B.
D.
D.
E.
E.
F.
F.
G.
G.
J.
J.
I.
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 J.
J.
O.
O.
Mm.
Mm.
Mm. O.
O.
Ah.
Ah.
Qu.
Qu.
R.
R.
can have a crowd come lead it. Ramon, you like to be a leader? All right, keep your eyes right at the tip of the pointer, everybody. Here we go.
A.
A. I first, and then you first, then Very nice, thank you. Now we know all the sounds that we need to read English. You're to continue practicing the games and songs with the children, and open your Raceway book, have them sing the song for you individually, have them say the ABC echoes, and sign them, each child's book, that he can sing and that he can say the sounds. Then you'll go to the Raceway and move the child's car up to the very next step. We finished step 18. We're ready for step 19 now. Step 19 is a step where we introduce the most frequently used words. In our Raceway book, we have a list of these words, and you'll see that there are many of the rule breaker words that children have heretofore been taught as the sight words in many of the basal programs. We've kept them off till step 19 because at this point the children will be able to sound out many of them. Look at number 6. You have the word for, and they know OR goes or, so they can sound that out. OU goes ow, and they can get our. TH goes and they can get that, and so forth. So their phonics that they've had will help them sound out these rule breaker words. They read them, they write them, and they spell them. Also, we have the words that just have one vowel in them that takes the long vowel sound. So, go, no, we, he, she, and so forth. We have a game that will help them learn those sight words. It's called Wordo. We have it pictured here. It's actually one card, but we're showing it both sides of the card, and it has the 50 most used words. And the children have clear, see-through chips. And we play a game with us. Let's go to the classroom and see how they play it. Find the word that says the. All right, next. Find the word that says or. Find the word that says his.
Wordo.
Good, we have a winner. Let's hear you read the words in your row.
Said, go, thee, his, by.
You'll have your children play that Wordo game every day at school for several weeks, and even longer than several weeks, so that they'll really master recognition of those words. At this point, you can start any basal program that your school has, and you can just read along with the stories because you won't have to pick your way through learning how to know what the words are. Now we're ready to come back to the red book and read those words in the story in the back of this book about snacks for the cubs. It uses all of those most frequently used sight words in this little story about some bear cubs that go to the store with their mother. After they read this book, you'll go to the Raceway chart and move the children's cars from step 19 up to step 20. All right, now we're ready for step 20, the two-vowel song and the silent E song. At step 20, I tell the children, we've learned 2 sounds for each of our vowels. Now, when you're reading a word, suppose you come to a word and it has the letter A in it. How do you know whether to go A for apron or A for apple. How do you know when you come to a word with an E in it, whether to go E for eagle or F for egg? How do you know when you come to letter I in a word, whether to go I for ice cream or I for Indian, and so forth through the vowels? You say, this is the step where we learn about that. Now, do you remember back at the beginning of the year when we were doing the short vowel charts? We had those little short words with just one vowel in them. They always took the short vowel sound. But if there are two vowels in a word, boys and girls, that's when you get the long vowel sound. Watch. We have two vowels in this word. E is a vowel and A is a vowel. Now, when you have two vowels walking together, the second vowel is completely quiet, but it makes the first vowel say its name. Two vowels walk together and they play a game. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. What's the name of that letter? E. S, eat. Have a seat. Let's go through a few more of these. Here's another word with two vowels in it. E is a vowel, A is a vowel. Two vowels walk together and they play a game. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The second vowel is completely quiet. The only job he does is to make this one say its name. Y, ear, year. This is a good year. Take one more with the children. Two vowels walk together and they play a game. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. What's the name of the letter? E. The vowel says E and the word is beach. We went to the beach. After the children see that, you can take them over to your chart, which could be used either at your chalkboard in the front of the room or on a bulletin board. And you show them that there are two children dancing together. The first one, this one represents the first vowel. This one represents the second vowel. That's why the mouth is bound, because the second vowel is quiet. And you hold the words up in the relative position of the first vowel here, the second vowel there. And there's a song that we can sing and a game that we play that will help children to learn hundreds of these two vowel words. Let's go to the classroom and see how it is that we do this.
Walk together and they play a game. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says E, the word is seat. The vowel says E and the word is seat. Two vowels walk together and they play a game. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says E, the word is year. The vowel says E and the word is year. Two vowels walk together and they play a game. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says E, the word is each. The vowel says E and the word is beach. Two vowels walk together and they play a game. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says E, the word is heat. The vowel says E and the word is heat. Two vowels walk together and they play a game. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says E, the word is each. The vowel says E and the word is each. Two vowels walk together and they play a game. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says E, the word is neat. The vowel says E and the word is neat. Two vowels walk together and they play a game. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says E, the word is bean. The vowel says E and the word is bean. Two vowels walk together and they play a game. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says E and the word is meat. The vowel says E and the word is meat. Two vowels walk together and they play a game. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says E, the word is team. The vowel says E and the word is team. Two vowels walk together and they play a game. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says E, the word is leaf. The vowel says E and the word is leaf.
We tell the children that there's another verse to that song, the silent E song, where if a word has a silent E at the end of it, well, if it has an E at the end of it, it will be silent, but that silent E makes the first vowel in the word say its name. With the silent E, it does the same. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says I, and the word is time. Time. What time is it? You see that's changing the word Tim to time by putting the E on the end. Let's do another one. With the silent E, it does the same. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says I, and the word is bite. Bite. Have a bite of the sandwich. And so forth. There are lots and lots of silent E words the children can learn this way. Let's go to the classroom and see how they sing this.
With a silent E, it does the same. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says I, the word is time. The vowel says I, and the word is time. With the silent E, it does the same. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says I, the word is bite. The vowel says I, and the word is bite. With the silent E, it does the same. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says I, the word is dime. The vowel says I, and the word is dime. With the silent E, it does the same. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says I, the word is right. The vowel says I, and the word is right. With the silent E, it does the same. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says I, the word is kite. The vowel says I, and the word is kite. With the silent E, it does the same. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says oh, the word is note. The vowel says oh, and the word is note. With the silent E, it does the same. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says oh, the word is road. The vowel says oh, and the word is road. With the silent E, it does the same. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says E, the word is here. The vowel says E, and the word is here. With the silent E, it does the same. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says A, the word is race. The vowel says A, and the word is race. With the silent E, it does the same. The first vowel speaks, he says his name. The vowel says O, the word is hope. The vowel says O, and the word is hope.
After the children have sung that song and played that game, played both of them, the two vowel and silent E song and game, then you're ready to look at the Raceway book and have them read those two vowel words. You'll sign them for reading, writing, and spelling those words. You can do it either in your reading groups or individually. Handle it the way you feel comfortable handling it in your class, but you'll hear each child who is individually responsible for doing this. They'll mark a straight line over the first vowel and strike out the second vowel on each word, sound it out, read it to you, and then spell it. There's another page of two vowel words, another one, then the silent E words. They'll strike out the silent E at the end of each word, put a straight line over the first vowel, and read those to you. Read, write, and spell them. There are more pages of that. The children will be able to notice a lot of words in their storybooks that are with silent E's too. In this section, we have C taking the S sound. The headline will always warn you as a teacher what it is that you need to instruct the child in for that step. When C is before the letter E, it takes the S sound. So you strike out the silent E, and it says ice, rice, nice, dice, and so forth. After the children have read, written, and spelled each one of those pages, they're ready to go to the storybook that we have for this. It's storybook number 7, and there are lots of stories in this book. You notice right at the headline on the outside, two vowels and silent E words, C equals S, and there are lots of stories in this book for the children to read. There's 64 pages. I want to make a point before we go on to the next step that some reading instructors are saying that two-vowel rule doesn't work very often, that there are more exceptions than there are followers of that rule. And I want to show you that it depends on the order in which you teach things. Let's look back at the letter cluster song that we learned back at step 16. The children learned that OI, which is a two-vowel combination, went oi, but they learned it as a letter cluster. They learned OO goes as in book and look and hook. They learned that as a letter cluster. And OO goes oo as in spoon and moon and noon. So you see that we've already taken care of those letter clusters before we came to the rule about two vowels and silent E. So the rest of them work except for a little handful that we'll teach you about later on at the end of the Raceway book. We are ready now to go to the Raceway chart. If the children have read the stories for that step, we're ready to move their cars up. And now they're ready for step 21. We're now ready for step 21. At step 21, the children have a page that's just a fun page to do, the numbers and colors page. They have no trouble doing it at all. They read the words on the balloons and color the balloons the proper color. They read the numbers. On the next page, 21A, they learn about words that end with AY. I tell them that Y on the end of a word is a vowel, and A in front of that Y is another vowel. So two vowels walk together. The first says its name, the second is silent. So they read day, lay, pay, say, and so forth. They do that so easily. It's one of the easiest steps they have in here. Here's Y on the end where there is no other vowel. Y is the vowel, and it takes the I sound, as in my, buy, try, fly, and so forth. The bottom of the page, they have some of the soft G words. We teach them that G-E or G-I. When E or I comes after the G, they know it will take the soft sound, as in giant. And they read germ, giant, age, and so forth. Be sure to have the students use each word in a sentence. And if you're teaching in a ESL class, you'll want to be sure that the children have an opportunity to illustrate each of these words so that they'll really be picking up the language. Step 21B, we're moving right along. This is Y on the end of a two-syllable word, as in pretty, funny, happy. We tell them that the Y takes the E sound in a word that has two parts when we clap it out, the two syllables, pretty, baby, happy, and so forth. Then we're ready for word endings or suffixes. When we add ed to a word, sometimes it says t. Now they know the word pack. When we add ed to it, it sounds as though we're adding a t to it. It says packed. We packed our suitcases. The next word is camp. When we add the ed to it, it says camped. It sounds as though it's a t, but tell them to be certain never to put a T there, that it's always ed, and we tell them that it makes the word change from something we did today to something we did yesterday. Listen to it. Today I pack. Yesterday I packed. Today I camp. Yesterday I camped. Do you see how we're teaching them about the past tense? All right, after they do that, they'll read, write, and spell those words. Keep right on going. We're really moving along now. We're at step 21C. Sometimes ed says d. Look at it. They know the word rain. We add the ed to it and it says rained. Seal. I'm going to seal the envelope. When you add the ed to it, it's sealed. Once again, it's the past tense. It will rain today. Yesterday it rained. I will seal the envelope today. Yesterday I sealed the envelope. Let's move on down. Oh, wait a minute. We need to go over here. Sometimes ed says ed. Listen to it in these words. Hunt, hunted. Want, wanted. Dust, dusted, and so forth. The children really like to do this. If a word already ends with an E and you want to add ed to it, you just put the D. Take the word save. I'm going to save my money. Today I will save it. Yesterday I saved it. You add just the D if the word already ends in an E. When the children can read, write, and spell those, you sign them for that page. Moving right along, we're still at step 21, 21D. Now, this is really great. They learn a lot on this page. We're going to add ED to the words in this row, ER to this row, and ING in this row. Let's take the first word. They know that one, hop. We're going to make it say hopped, but we have to tell the children before they do it, in a little word like this, if there's just one vowel and one consonant, you always double that last letter before you add the ending. So they have the practice of writing the word hop, doubling the ending, and adding ED. So it says hopped, hopper, hopping. The next one, bat, batted, batter, batting. They'll actually practice that rule so that they'll learn it through the practicing of it rather than the memorizing of it. They'll read, write, and spell those words. Where there are stars in the box, it means they don't need to put a word there because there is no such word for that. After they do those words, they're ready to read the stories for that step. Let's look here. Storybook number 8 has the numbers and colors story, the AY, all the things that we just talked about at step 21, the ER, ED, ING stories in there. There's 64 pages of stories about that. When the children do it, then we go to the raceway and we move their cars up. They're now ready for step 22. In this segment, we're going to go from steps 22 to 26. For step 22, the children are going to learn the OR words. They're going to circle the OR in each of these words, and then they're going to sound the word out and use it in a sentence. They'll sound out born, born. I was born in this state. They'd circle the OR and sound out storm, storm. There was a storm last night, and so forth down through each of these words. Be certain that they use each word in a sentence. You might have them fold the art paper into quarters and illustrate these words too. It's especially good for those children, as we said before, those children who are learning English for the first time. You'll sign the child's box where it says can read, can write, can spell, and then you're ready to have him read the story that uses these words in this book. You see the OR words are listed at the top. All right? Then the children are ready to go to the next list of words, the SH list. They'll circle SH. They know that it goes sh as in shell, and they'll sound out each of these words. You'll sign them for reading, writing, and spelling these words, and then you go to the storybook to read those words in context here in the same book. Okay? We'll turn the page. We're still on step 22, so we're not moving the cars yet. This is step 22C, the CH words. The children will circle CH in each of the words, sound it out, use it in a sentence, draw some pictures of them, and you will sign them as they read, write, and spell. I should tell you at this point that it's very nice to have the children spell each other. After you've heard a child spell the words, then you can make him the teacher to help the next child with the spelling. It's perfectly all right as long as you check them every now and then, be certain they're doing it right. Then we have a page that's just for fun where they put the letter clusters in the right place with the right picture. Okay? After they do this page, they're to read the CH story, which is also in this book. Okay? All right, let's see, that's the end of step 22. So they'll move their car up on the raceway. Finished the OR, SH, and CH words. Now they're on step 23. And we can see that they're going to be learning about these letter clusters in their raceway book. You'll notice that if you can turn the page in the book, you can follow this program. It's all right here between these two covers. Step 23A, they're going to read, write, and spell the ER words, then the IR words, and the UR words. They remember that they learned that all three of those letter combinations said when they were singing their phonics song. All right, after that, they'll go to step 23B. They'll learn the voiced TH words and the unvoiced. Let's talk about that for a minute. Those of us who didn't study phonics in our teacher training might not have been taught this. We tell the children that TH means put your tongue up to your teeth. Just keep saying that. Every time you see TH, children, put your tongue to your teeth. All right, now, just blow. Now say 3, think, thought, threw, as he threw the ball. That's unvoiced TH. Now this time, put your tongue to your teeth and go, Put your fingers down here so you can feel the vibration. Then say this, that, these, those, them. Those words are the voiced TH words, and they have a list of each. The voiced here and the not voiced here, as thank, thick, thin, think, and so forth. Then they learn the TCH words. At the end of some words, the CH sound is spelled TCH, and they read match, patch, stitch, itch, and so forth. Sign in the boxes. Be sure to put the date there. And they move on. Well, that's the end of step 23, so we'll go over here to the book. Find those stories, the TH words, TCH. And then there's a nice little story about the importance of learning the ABC code. And then we'll go to the raceway. We're through with that step, and we're ready to move our car forward. We're on step 24. Now we're really moving along. I tell the children, after they get up around this corner from going uphill, it really gets easy. And their cars move along much more quickly along this stretch of the raceway. All right, now we're on step 24. They have the OW words that go ow, how, now, brown, cow. And the OU words also say ow, as ground, sound, proud, couch, and so forth. They read, write, and spell these words. That's the end of step 24A. Let's take a look and see what we have for 24B. OW words, and it has the straight line over the O, and we know that's the long vowel sound, so it says O, as in row, snow, slow, blow. EW sound, oo as new, crew, few, flew. And on to step 24C, the QU words. Quit, quick, queen, queer. WH words, we tell them most of the question words start WH. We have which, wheat, what, where. I tell the children that when you have WH, you really should say it as though it's HW. Try that. Go which, where, when, why. It helps them with their spelling if we teachers pronounce the words this way. All right. That's the end of 24C. So we are over here to find those stories in the storybook. We have the OW words, OU, all the ones that we just talked about. And when they read the stories in this book, and then they're ready to move their cars up on the raceway, they're ready for step 25. Now some teachers, there we go. Some teachers prefer to read the list of words and then the story, the list of words and the story. Or some teachers and some other teachers have them read through an entire step, all the categories for step 24, and then read all the stories for it. It doesn't really make any difference. You take your own choice. The children who are in Spanish-speaking classes, are in classes where most of the children are from Spanish-speaking homes, make it to about this part of the raceway, steps 22, 23, 24 in the first grade. Whereas Native American children who speak English all the time are able to make it all the way to step 36. And there are some children, of course, in your slow groups who won't make it quite that far, but the important thing is that they're all moving in that direction and that they will be allowed to finish up all the 36 steps that are necessary for independent reading the following year. Okay, children at step 25 now. It's the AR words, and oh my, there's so many of them. They circle AR and they read hard, tar, barn, car, art, chart, and so forth. They illustrate the words. Of course, this page was just fill in the letter cluster for each of the pictures. Okay, after they do step 25A, the AR words, they can read the story that goes with it. It's over here in this book, the first story in this book. I think I'll take a minute and show you what one of the stories is like. Let's see. This little story, AR story, uses 36 AR words, and it's called Harmony Hill Farm. Let's just take a look at it for a moment. It's just like any other little first grade reader or beginning reader. This is Harmony Hill Farm. Count all the AR words as I read it to you. This is Harmony Hill Farm. Carl and Mark live here. They like Harmony Hill Farm. Mark is big. He is 7 years old. Carl is not so big. He is 5 years old. Mark has a little puppy. His name is Sparky. And you see there are lots of AR words. Mark, I'm skipping ahead. Mark ran to the barn, and Sparky ran with him. Arf, arf, barked Sparky. And when they get there, a lark is singing in the tree, and Dad is by the cart, and they're lifting hay into the cart, and they feed old Martha, the cow. And you can see that all of these words are used in context, so the child gets a complete correlated language arts program. He learns to read, write, spell the words, use them in sentences himself, and then read them in context in a story. All right. Now we're up to step 26. We move our cars up to step 26 on our raceway. Now, hold it just 1 minute. Step 25B we need to do first. AW words, the AU words, and then we're ready to move our car up to step 26. Step 26A, we have the ING, ANG, ONG words, ing, ang, ong words, king, ring, sing, bring, and so forth. OY words, OI words. They read, write, and spell these. Do the little fill in the blank page. Step 26B, they do OO words that go ooh, boot, tool, pool, roof, zoo. Oh, it's fun writing that story. That comes in this book, the boot book over here. All right, then we go to step 26C. We have OO words that go as in took, look, book, hook, shook. And then they go to the TION words. That's that incredible combination of letters that go shun, nation, station, vacation. And little children in first grade are so proud of themselves when they're able to spell those words. But you see, they're able to because they know those sounds. You just have to say nation, vacation. And if you sound it out that way for them when they're spelling in little clusters of letters, they're very proud of themselves for being able to do that. Okay, that's the end of step 26. We go to the race. Well, we read the stories first, the TION words. And then we move our car up. And we're at a most exciting step on our raceway, step 27. Now it's time for step 27, Mr. GH. Mr. GH is in each one of these words. You'll notice that the letters GH are in every single word on this chart. And I tell the children that Mr. GH is silent when he's in a word, but he always frightens the vowel that comes just before his position in the word. This is one single vowel, and it usually takes the short vowel sound, but not when Mr. GH is around. He takes the long vowel sound, so we sound it out. N-ite, night. We skip right over GH, which is completely quiet. You can have the children cover the letters or draw the shape of Mr. GH right over the letters. So they read fight, sight, bright, light, tight, and so forth down the row. When we get down to this one, down here at the bottom, I say, boys and girls, this word is just exactly like the one at the top. What did it say? Night. Like good night, go to sleep. But this is a different kind of night. Who can think of another kind of night, I ask the children. And somebody will raise his hand and say, the knight that rides on the horse and wears shining armor and helps the king. And that's why I tell them, that's why we put letter K in front of that knight, so that everybody will know that that's the knight that rides on the horse and helps the king. All right, let's look at the next row. We have O-U-G-H-T. There's Mr. G-H. He makes the vowels take a different sound. O-U usually goes ow, but not when Mr. G-H is there. It goes aw. Isn't that incredible? So we go ought, b, ought, f, ought, and so forth right down through this row. Let's come over to this one. Here's Mr. G-H, and the letters E-I are in front. They are vowels. And incredibly, they're going to say A, the long A sound. So we have eight, eighty, eight, and so forth down through this row. Even children in the first grade now are going to be reading neighbor and neighborhood and spelling it because they can pick their way right across, remembering that it has EI, the silent letters EI, and so forth. Okay, let's go over to this row. Now Mr. GH is on the end of a word. And there's a little rule that we learned with this. Mr. GH is hiding all around. Look, he makes those vowels say a different sound. Mr. GH is a funny little friend. He's silent in the middle of a word, but goes f at the end. Here he is on the end of the word, and he's going laugh, cough, rough, tough, and enough. Did you hear the F sound at the end? This is a kind of fun thing that I do with my kids in the first grade. After we read this row, I say, okay, let's practice it. I want you to do each thing that it says. Now, you just read it and then do what it says. So they all start laughing when I point to this word, and they all start coughing when I point to this one. For this one, rough, I tell them that we're driving over a rough road. Get hold of the steering wheel, and we're kind of bouncing along on the rough road. On this one, tough, I tell them, think of their big brothers who are standing in front of the mirror acting as though they're very tough. And for this one, enough, think of when their mother tells them, that is enough. And they point their fingers this way and look very stern. So we can go up and down this row where the children will actually be riding along on the rough road or coughing and acting tough and laughing. And it makes it a really fun activity that everybody likes to do, and they learn to read those very tough words. Now we have some right here that we haven't talked about yet. Here's Mr. GH on the end, and he really is a tricky little friend. He's on the end, but you notice his mouth is bound here. He's being silent. He's just hard to figure out, isn't he? There's the words sigh, hi, though, through, and do. Now we're going to go to the classroom and see what it is that we do to help children remember these words.
Mr. GH is hiding all around. Look, he'll make those vowels say a different sound. Mr. GH is a funny little friend. He's silent in the middle, but goes at the end. Mr. GH is hiding all around. Look, he'll make those vowels say a different sound. Mr. GH is a funny little friend. He's silent in the middle, but goes at the end. He's silent in the middle, but goes at the end. He's silent in the middle, but goes at the end. N-I-G-H-T says night. F-I-G-H-T says fight. S-I-G-H-T says sight. B-R-I-G-H-T, right. L-I-G-H-T says light. T-I-G-H the end. He's silent in the middle, but goes at the end.
In that classroom, you saw the children seated in front of the chart. There's another way that you can do that that's a lot of fun, too. In my classroom, I let the children get up and form a big line, a big circle around the room. And then we go around singing that song. Mr. G.H. is hiding all around. See, he makes those vowels say a different sound. And we put our hands around our mouths so they're saying a different sound. And they're going around. Mr. G.H. is a funny little friend. He's silent in the middle. They turn toward the center of the room at this part. He's silent in the middle, but goes at the end. And they all jump up, and it's like being cheerleaders, and they have a lot of fun with it. And it really helps them have that additional activity and additional practice to memorize that little rule. You know, we're trying to go every avenue to the brain. We're singing it, we're hearing it, we're seeing it on the chart, we're writing it, we're spelling it orally, and then we're going to read it in a book in context, so that we're really reaching every avenue to the brain, and that keeps us from letting those children slip through the net that have been slipping through previously because we were only going one dimension in our teaching. Also, I should tell you that on the flip side of the record, there's music only. And when you sing down this list of words and this list and any of these others, you will use the music only side to sing with. And you have a little trouble fitting some of these letters in, but practice it. You can do it. We'll have a little help for you in the teacher's manual, in our new edition of the teacher's manual. We have that written out so you'll be able to do it with ease. Okay, after they read, write, and spell these, we want to go over and get our storybook over here and find which one it is. Here's Mr. G.H. right on the boot book, number 13. And then we're ready to move our cars forward. We're off of step 27 now, and we're ready for step 28. In this segment, we're going to go from steps 28 to step 30. On step 28, the children are going to learn about the ALL words. Very simple. Ball, call, all, tall, and so forth. Right down there, it's the A going ah as in father. And notice they can put 2 dots over that A as they go through it. Then they're going to learn about, sometimes there are words where AR sounds as though it should be OR, as in war, and worn, and warm. You'll notice that each time it's after the letter W, that AR sounds like OR, okay? Then they have the DGE words, dodge, fudge, judge, budge, edge, and so forth. The UE words, true, blue, sue, clue, glue, and of course there are stories for each of these lists of words in a book. We'll look at that in a second. Let's finish all of step 28 first. 28B, they have the X words. X sounds X, as in box, mix, axe, wax, max. You can see how easy these are for the children, and they just fly through it. They're practically teaching themselves at this point. Here's a list of words where IE sounds with the long E. Now that's 2 vowels together, but it's taking the long vowel sound of the second letter there. As in chief, pier, and they need to talk about what a pier is, where you go out on the pier to fish and so forth. Peace, yield, priest, and so forth, right through this list. Here's another group of letters where there are 2 vowels together, and it's taking the long A sound. EA, where it says A, as in bear, pear, wear, tear. They'll strike out that first vowel, which is being silent here. Now, those aren't very many words to be taught as exceptions to that 2-vowel rule, are there? There are a few more up here. Step 20, oh, that's the end of 28. Okay, let's go to our book first and see these. Step, here are the ALL words. AR sounds OR. DGE, UE, X, all of those that we just talked about are in this book, number 14. All right, then we move our car up on the raceway, and we're on step 29. All right, we look in our Raceway book, step 29, and we see we have EA words where the E is taking the short vowel sound, eh. And they read bread, red, thread, ready, head, so forth through this list. Then we have the EAR words that sound ER. The A is silent in the center, and it's just going as in pearl, earn, learn, herd, earth, search. Now we're ready to take have a lesson in F changing to VES. You have one leaf, but you have several leaves. And in order to make it the plural, we have to change the F to V and add ES. So the children write the word leaf and then change it to leaves. Wife, wives, knife, knives, so forth. They read, write, and spell these words. On 29B, they have the long I words in a little category up here. They're just 8 words where it's only one vowel in the word. It's taking the long vowel sound. Kind, bind, blind, mind, etc. Now we have this category where U is going The letter U going as though it would be O-O. Put, pull, push, cushion, pudding, and this list. A-I-R goes air, and they read air, chair, hair, stare, fair, pair. U-I goes ooh in these words. Suit, fruit, nuisance, suitcase, juice, and cruise. Don't forget, the children can start writing stories on their own now as they're doing these words. In fact, they could have been doing it for a long time. My first graders really enjoyed having me fold their art paper to make it in the form of a book and staple it, and then they would write their own books using these different categories of words. It made it a lot of fun, and they had a lot of fun reading them to each other also. In fact, we had a big basket full of them back on the reading table, just filled with little storybooks that they had written. All right, that's the end of step 29. Let's go over and see what book we read for that. We had EA going so it would be these words, F to VES, and these words in here down through the contractions in this book, in book 15. So now we're at the end of step 29, and we move our car up to the next step. And now we're ready for step 30. On step 30, we see that we're in the category OR equals ER. OR sounds ER, as in worm, worry, favor, worship, world. The child will go down and circle all those ORs and remember to say every time that it has the ER sound when he's sounding them out. Now we're down to contractions. Do not changes to don't. I tell the children that we Americans get in a very big hurry when we're talking, and instead of saying do not do it, we say don't do it. And we just are banging those two words together. We're taking the word do and not and putting them together and leaving out that last O. And where we leave out the O on the word not, we put a little apostrophe. And they learn are not the same way that we're leaving out the O when we say aren't. We're fitting those together. Cannot, can't, we are, we're, and so forth. They'll read, write, spell those words. Now we're on step 30B. A-R-E sounds air, as in bear, rare, care, fare. Pay your fare on the in the cab and so forth. It's really good that the children are going down through these lists of words, and if you're taking time to really develop an understanding of this vocabulary, you can see how it expands their speaking vocabulary and reading vocabulary as well. This list of words is where A goes as in father, and you have father, wand, wad, like you're going to wad up the paper, want, wash, wasp, and so forth. There's a nice little story about that too. C equals S. Whenever C comes before E or I, it takes the S sound, we tell the children. And we have the word circus, choice, circle, scent, police, so forth, this little list of words. They read, write, and spell those words. That's the end of step 30. And we go over and find the stories that go for that. And they too are in this book, number 15. And they will read those stories. Then we'll go to the raceway. When they finish that book, we'll move their cars forward. And now we're all set for step 31. This segment will cover steps 31 through 33. On step 31, we introduced the silent W words. Each word in this section starts with a silent W. So we have the children go down and strike out that W. You'll notice that each time it's followed by the letter R. And that's the sound that they will start reading. Write, I'm going to write a letter. Wrote, I wrote a letter yesterday. Wrist, I have a watch on my wrist, and so forth, down through here. Oh, you'll have them read the word ring and explain that this is not the ring that you wear on your finger, but when you wring out a washcloth. And wrap, this is not wrap on the door, but this is when you wrap the presents. So you see that they're getting the different spellings and meanings of the different spellings. Then we go on to the silent K words. Every word in this section has a silent K at the beginning. You'll notice that each time it's followed by the letter N. And they sound out knot. That's like the knot in the shoe you explain to them. Knife, knit, knob, knee, kneel, and so forth through these words. They read, write, and spell these words orally in order to pass on to the next page, which is step 32. We'll have to move our cars up. Let's go over here and take a look at the silent letters K and L on this book. And then we read those stories, and then we go over to the raceway and move the car up to step 32. That was pretty quick, wasn't it? On step 32, we have the silent L letters. Now, they're not at the beginning of the word, and you can't go to the dictionary and get the silent L words. You just have to think of them. It's kind of fun to do that. You all speak English, and how many of you can think of 10 silent L words right now? It's very hard to do, and we gathered these up over the years. As a matter of fact, the first time we printed this book, there were 3 of us teachers who were working on it, and we forgot the word chalk, which was a very big embarrassment to us when somebody pointed it out. But you can't go get a list of these words. You just have to put them together. And it's very good to be able to tell the children, look out for these words. There are some words that have a silent L in them. Look, walk, talk, stalk, chalk, half, calf, could, would, should, salmon, and so forth. This nice list of silent L words. Then they read the story for that. Then we come to silent B words. These also cannot be found by looking for silent B words in the dictionary, because the B is always at the end, as in dumb, crumb, numb, limb, doubt, doubted, plumber, thumb, and so forth. It's really funny to have the parents of children in the first grade come in and say, you know, my first grader had to spell the word plumber for his 5th grade brother the other night. It's because they've gone through this book in a very sequential manner that they've been able to pick up these things and learn them so early. All right, after that, we're going to go over to find the book that has the silent L and silent B. Here it is. All our silent letters seem to be in this book with the knight on the front. Silent L, silent B. Then we go to the raceway, move our car up, and we're on step 33. On step 33, we have the silent G words, which have, the word sign, net, gnaw, gnash, resign. The silent H words as hour, then hour on the clock. Honor, honor your father and mother. Honest, John. Silent T words as in often, fasten, moisten, listen, glisten, castle. Isn't it nice that our children, after doing this, will be able to read the library books and not be tripped up by trying to sound out these words, the words that have silent letters, that we've forewarned them about them and given them an opportunity to write them, read them, and spell them. Then we have the QU words that go k, as in mosquito, croquet, bouquet, boutique, and antique. And they get to draw pictures for these. It makes it really clear for them to get an understanding. A lot of children will notice the signs, antique, along the road, antiques for sale, after having had this lesson. And bouquets in the florist, and games of croquet. It really broadens their vocabulary. Let's go over and find the place where we would read these stories. It would be in this book still, the QU words going k. And then we go to our raceway, move our cars forward again. We're coming really down the track, aren't we? Almost finishing. And now we're up to step 34. Now we're ready for the home stretch. We're going to go from steps 34 through 36. On step 34 in the Raceway book, we have the PH words that go f. Take the F sound. We go down through the list of words with the children, tell them every time they see a PH, whether it's at the beginning of the word or at the end of the word, they're to circle it, and that it's going to take the F sound. And they'll sound out phone, phonics, photo, photograph, autograph, Philip, Philadelphia, and so forth. Write down that list of words. I was tutoring a young man who was doing his senior year in high school for the second time. Oh, it was a good number of years ago now. But he had been brought to me as a non-reader, and his English teacher told me that if I would work with him every single night from Christmas vacation to the end of school, that they would allow him to graduate, but they wanted him to get as far as he could with his reading. And he moved right on through this program, and when he read these words, was going down through this list of words, reading Philadelphia, photographer, and so forth, he turned to me and he said, "Mrs. Dickson, why didn't somebody tell me this before?" And you know, that's really a very chilling question. Why was it that it wasn't in somebody's lesson plans, or it wasn't in the books that were furnished? And I think it really tells us that when we're moving on to the new technology, we're going to be able to catch those children who need these kinds of lessons in order to be able to read independently and not guess. That young man went to college the next year, and he was reading books from about June on, and it was a real thrill for us to see that we gave him the keys that he needed in order to be an independent reader. Step 34, we do the CH words that go k. The root word is Christ. From that we get Chris, Christopher, Christmas, Christian, cord, school. There's a CH at the end of the word for the word stomach, schedule. Those are wonderful words that little first graders are able to read and spell. And then the SS words that go sh, as in mission, permission, admission, discussion. All right, after step 34, we go over to the books, and we find that those stories are in our last book, the PH words that sound F, and the CH words that go K. There's some darling stories in there. We'll try to get to them in a minute. And then we go to our raceway. We move our car forward, and we have a special section of rule breaker and wacky words that come next. And on this page, we tell the children, look out. There are letters here that steal other letters' sounds. Now, there are a lot of very familiar words that they know here, but they are all words that are tricky. Take the word one, O-N-E. I had a mommy come in one time, and she said that he was having trouble even with words 1, 2, 3. Well, why not? Look at the word one. The O is not saying its right sound. It's taking the W sound. And it should be W-U-N, shouldn't it, to sound right. So that's a really hard word. It's not an easy one. And the word has, the S is taking the Z sound. If you can close in really closely with the camera, we have the little phonetic spelling right here. H-A-Z. Is should be I-Z. Said is very tricky. It sounds as though it should be S-E-D. And there it is, S-A-I-D. Those are difficult spellings. The word they certainly sounds as though it has an A in it, but it doesn't. Sugar sounds as though it should be S-H. Look at the word was. Certainly sounds as though it has a Z on the end and perhaps a U in the middle. Any sounds as though it should have an E. Shoe should be O-O. So you see, these are the rule breaker words that they need to be taught about. Looks like bussy, but it's really busy. And we have to just warn them. These are the rule breaker words. 2 pages of them here. On some of them you can give a few tips. Like in the word friend, when I teach that, I write FR on the board, and then I leave a little space and I write END. And I tell them that you have to remember, in order to be a friend, in order to have a friend, I have to be a friend, and you put the I right there in the middle. And what looks like wet. So we sing a little song about if it sounds like it's wet, it's really what, you know. And whatever you can do to help them remember these words. They're the toughest ones. And the incredible thing about it is many of these words are the ones that basal readers will start out with. And by starting out with these, then the child becomes convinced that there's no way to remember them all, that there's no rhyme or reason to the English language, but there is. That it's been computed, well, I guess our computers have told us that as much as 85% of the English language is phonetic. Another nice fact they gave us is that 62% of it is made up of short vowel words, short vowel sounds. So you see that if we only need to study and memorize 15% of the of the language that is made up of rule breakers, that certainly cuts the task down to size, one that we can handle. There are some really wacky words over here: ocean, pneumonia, psychology, psychiatrist, and so forth. Really tough words. The word colonel, lieutenant, sergeant, those are all from other languages. Mostly the French, I think, is what gummed up English for us. Most of these words are from French. And as I say, from other languages. After they do step 35, they read the story for that. And that's also in book 17 over here. And we move their car up on the raceway. And now we're ready for step 36. On step 36, we're going to learn the multi-syllable words. They'll slide their fingers across, reading famous, dangerous, jealous, curious, generous, serious, fabulous. And it really is fabulous when children finish first grade and are able to read, write, and spell words such as this. When they finish step 36, they're really able to read just about anything. We need to go over and see what it is that they're reading in their own reader that goes with this story, with this list of words. I'd like to give you just an idea of a story that's in here. The PH words that go F is baseball in Philadelphia. They had the word Joseph, Ralph, Phooey, Dolphins, Gophers, Philadelphia, photos, photographs, autographs, alphabet, phonics, phonograph, telephone, trophy, and pharmacy in this story. You see, they're set up just the way any other little early reading book is set up. It was a rainy day. Phooey, said Joseph. Phooey, said Ralph. No ball game today. Ducks and dolphins like rain, but not gophers. There they are. No trip to Philadelphia. No photographs of the baseball players. No autographs on the photos. Joseph was sad and mad. Ralph was mad and sad. Mom said, do your homework. Write the alphabet. Ralph put the record on the phonograph. Learn your phonics song. That's what Mom says. See how many words of those PH words is being used? Simple sentences, easy to understand, uncluttered page, but they have the ability to do it. The little gophers worked. They wrote the alphabet and sang the phonics song. Then the telephone rang. Telephone called Mom. It is Dad. Then we see Dad in the pharmacy, and the children are instructed to hold this page up in front of a mirror, and they'll see the word pharmacy written, viewed from the outside of the store. The rain will stop. I'll close the shop. We have to go. Our team's on top, says Dad. Come on, let's go. Hooray, hooray. Our team will win a trophy today. The end. Now, you see, that story had all of those big words used in context, but it was on uncluttered pages, simple sentences. They're able to do it. And that's what this program is based on, doing simple things one step at a time, all the way through all of the necessary elements to learn to read English. Everyone's a success when the child learns to read. We hope that you'll enjoy using this program in your classes.